My Little Pony has been charming fans worldwide for over 40 years.
We've got a long journey ahead of us.
But do you know all the amazing trivia about this animation?
Ooh!
If you think My Little Pony is all about cute stuff, you're mistaken. One undeniable fact is that many dark and creepy situations unfold in Equestria, the pony's homeland. Don't believe it? Then beware of the vampire. This eerie story happened to Fluttershy. One sunny morning, our cowgirl pony Applejack was tending to her orchard and the giant prize apple she was excited to showcase at the competition, until she noticed that some fruits in the orchard were eaten down to the core. Applejack was puzzled, but soon enough, the answer came when she realized the farm was infested with dozens of vampire fruit bats. The Earth Pony asked the main six for help. Princess Twilight had a spell that could stop the vampire plague from sucking all the nectar out of the apples. But for the spell to work, she needed Fluttershy to use her magical stare on the bats during the preparation. This was a mistake, Twilight. They managed to stop the bats, but the spell backfired into Fluttershy's eyes, turning her into a vampire fruit bat Pegasus. But I won't spoil the end of this story for you. All I'll say is that it's a fact, My Little Pony can get pretty dark. You know what to do now. Grab your popcorn, watch out for corn-eating vampires, and get cozy, because another episode of Cinewave is about to start. If vampire curses weren't enough, the MLP universe also has some pretty serious illnesses that aren't easy to cure. Magic doesn't fix everything. In the real world, we have a nasty itch called chickenpox. Have you ever had it? But in Equestria, there's something equivalent, horsey hives. This allergy causes a bunch of red bumps that itch like crazy. There's also swamp fever, a disease spread by a flower, and until season 7, it had no cure. Sadly, Fluttershy, yes, her again, and Zecora both catch it and almost transform into the very plant that transmits the fever. Luckily, Fluttershy finds the cure. There's a rumor going around Canterlot. Word is that the 6th generation of My Little Pony might be in production and galloping its way toward the fans. Fans of the show know it's gone through several adaptations, and the next phase is more than inevitable. One of the main reasons is that Generation 5 split the fan base and didn't achieve the same success as G4. A more positive reason for fans, though, is that the 6th phase of My Little Pony could bring an emotional connection with a now grown Flurry Heart. In the new seasons, it would be amazing to see the return of the main 6 or even the descendants of the main ponies facing off against a new enemy, or maybe an old villain.
Awesome!
Few My Little Pony fans noticed this, but in Season 6, we caught a glimpse that there's still a Pinkie Pie clone that survived the Mirror Pool episode. In Season 3, Pinkie Pie ended up making clones of herself, but this caused massive confusion, forcing the main 6 to eliminate the copies. But 3 seasons later, we see a quick glimpse that one of them escaped and is living in hiding, which is definitely super weird. Since then, was it always the real Pinkie Pie we saw in every situation? The name Cutie Mark may sound sweet, but not all marks are cute. Some are pretty hardcore, like Petunia Paleo's mark, which features a skull and crossbones. Super creepy. Her parents thought this mark could mean poison or even that she might become a pirate. Definitely not what they were hoping for her future. Luckily, Petunia just became an archaeologist who digs up fossils, but it could have easily turned into something much darker. Speaking of special symbols, did you know that the Cutie Mark Crusaders is a club made up of 3 ponies? Apple Bloom, Scootaloo, and Sweetie Belle? But did you know that they're also actually based on the Powerpuff Girls? Apple Bloom is inspired by Blossom, Sweetie Belle by Bubbles, and Scootaloo by Buttercup. In fact, in the ponies' music video, they stand in the exact same position as the girls in the Powerpuff Girls intro. This fact is actually quite romantic because Lauren Faust, the producer of My Little Pony's Generation 4, is married to Craig McCracken, the creator of the Powerpuff Girls. This was probably Lauren's way of paying tribute to her husband.
Perfect.
Celestia has many titles: Princess, Guardian, the one who brings the sun, and she rules over Equestria. But did you know that she's not actually a queen? The Alicorn doesn't hold the title of queen because of Disney. When MLP was created, Disney often made their villains queens and their heroines princesses. So as to avoid confusion with an audience that was mostly the same, Hasbro decided not to create good queens in My Little Pony. And would you be a princess or a queen? A prince or a king? Comment with the hashtag crown so we can get to know you. Another fun fact about Princess Celestia is that she was originally pink in Hasbro's toy line. However, the producers changed her color to white because they thought it would look better and make her character more unique. Without a doubt, Twilight Sparkle is the main character of Friendship is Magic. However, she doesn't appear in every episode, and in some, she's not even mentioned. While the show focuses on her journey as the Princess of Friendship, eventually becoming the ruler of Equestria, there are moments where the other main 6 take the spotlight, far from Twilight's lead role. The first generation of My Little Pony wasn't as kid-friendly as today's version, and younger viewers today would likely be banned from watching it. But back in the 80s, people didn't care much about that. The show featured human characters, and the villains had, well, let's just say slightly demonic traits. Lauren Faust, the executive producer of the series, originally wanted to name the character Nightmare Moon as Discord. However, Hasbro's studio thought that the name would be too difficult for kids to understand, so they saved the name for another villain in the following season. Here's a fruitful fact, if we can say so. Every member of Applejack's family is named after a type of apple. Applejack, Granny Smith, Big Macintosh, Apple Bloom, and Babseed. It's a pretty clever logic, don't you think? Additionally, Applejack is the only pony from G1 who has kept their most similar design across all versions, making her the most recognizable character for fans. Your grandparents probably remember Applejack. Why not ask them what she was like back in the day? There's so much fan-made content for My Little Pony that whenever a new character is created, the team has to do thorough research to avoid giving a name that's already been used in popular fanfics. Some fan-created names that made it into the show include Derpy and Dr. Hooves. And to show you're a true cartoon fan, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notifications.
Thank you.
Speaking of Dr. Hooves, he's actually based on an iconic British TV character, the famous Doctor Who, specifically the version played by the actor David Tennant between 2005 and 2010. Even though the show is all about ponies, Spike the Little Dragon is the only character who has appeared in every version of My Little Pony up to Generation 5. Here's Spike from G1. This is Spike from G2. Now here's the most different version, Spike from G3. This is the most famous Spike from G4. Finally, here's Spike from G5, who's no longer a baby dragon. According to Lauren Faust, the capital of Equestria, Canterlot, was inspired by Minas Tirith from The Lord of the Rings. This is especially cool because in Tolkien's universe, there's also a horse kingdom, which is Rohan. In My Little Pony, all the Alicorns are female. It's never been confirmed if this is a rule, but Generation 6 might shed some light on the mystery. In Generation 5, we learn about an ancient city called Skyros, which was only inhabited by Alicorns. Maybe a male Alicorn exists there. He would be the first male Alicorn to appear in the franchise, but since Skyros was destroyed, is that really a good idea?
Maybe.
There was almost a spin-off for the Mark Crusaders aimed at preschool audiences, where the characters would help pony babies find their purpose. However, the idea never moved forward. If you know Muffins, you know she's a bit different with her crossed eyes. But that wasn't intentional. The animation had a glitch during her first appearance. She was originally a background pony and nicknamed Derby. The producers embraced the name and kept her eyes the same, but as time passed, fans felt it wasn't a nice association. Legally, she was renamed Muffins. There's a My Little Pony festival created by the Brony community, adult men who love the show. The festival is called Pony Stock and has been held in Seattle every year since 2012. Rarity has a very cute and fancy kitten named Opalescence, or just Opal for close friends. What you may not know is that Opal's design closely resembles the villain from Disney's The Emperor's New Groove, the advisor Yzma, who coincidentally or not, turns into a cat in the movie. It takes a lot of creativity and love to keep a franchise going for so long, capturing our hearts every day. There are tons of videos in this universe to watch, and we've picked 2 more for you to enjoy. See you in the next video!